Hi, I'm Dave from Military Antiques Toronto, and today I'll show you something that walked in from the family today. It's funny what you have, a retail store, people walk in with stuff. I didn't even know this guy was coming, he just showed up unannounced. It's pretty cool, actually. So the problem with this originally is that a lot of times things walk in and no one has any clue what their father or grandfather did or whatever, and it's, you have no name in it, you can't tell any who it is, etc. In this case, the gentleman thankfully knew what his father did. And then he pointed out a book. Oh yeah, his name's in the book. And I'm like, okay. So, the first thing's not so exciting. So the guy ended up in the Canadian Guards. And you're all going to look at this and go, yeah, it's post-war. But think carefully about the history here, which is very important. So he's Canadian Guards. Nothing special. It's a greatcoat. They're not rare. They're big size. People like to buy them and wear them for some reason. I guess they're warm, they're wool. Personally, I can't stand wool, but that's just me because it makes me itchy. So it's pretty cool. This isn't named, so I'm just going to skip over it. It's and of course everything falls over. It's Canadian Guards, but there you go. So nothing tremendously rare. There you go. I'm going to have to move this because, it fell in the other dog's dish. So give me a second. As I throw everything back up on the counter, wet and all. Right. Okay. So, blue patrols. I know it's all upside down. Sergeant, great, right? With the trousers. This all came in. It was all dry cleaned. And you look at it. Okay, so it's got Canadian Guards buttons on. It's got wartime ribbons on. So what? You could add that, right? You could. Definitely. And as you go into the tunic, it's made by Ascot here in Toronto. You see the name, Sergeant Sampson, FE. And this is dated 55, right? Okay. So it's nothing like tremendously rare, but it's unusual. While it's good that it's named, I actually bought a book on the weekend at a museum that had it. And the only reason I bought it, is that I bought a sword and a bunch of other stuff many weeks ago, and I know I did a video on it. The gentleman was in the Canadian Guards, and I went, hey, I wonder if he's in there. Sure enough, he's in here. His name's Brocklehurst, and he's listed as a lieutenant colonel. So I now have that sword and a bunch of other stuff I have to get around to selling. But most importantly, and he was in the Airborne Regiment, so that's cool. Most importantly, I got a patrol here. Guy's name, Sampson. What did I say? What initials? I said FE. So I look in the back of this. This is before I was told who he was. And we come to Sampson, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. How's that work? Yeah, right, something like that. SA, next page. And it shows Sampson. And he was in the 2nd Battalion of the Canadian Guards. Post-war. Fine, right? Great. The pants are named. I already know that. So there you go. So I'll put that off to the side. Why it's important for all this, you'll know in a minute, or when I get down to it. So, and again, this was organized, but it fell over because, hey, it fell off the counter. Again, same guy, Governor General's foot guard, right? Okay, same wartime ribbons. I didn't check the pockets, truthfully, but I will. And again, it's named inside to Sergeant F.E. Sampson. It's dated 62, it's got his service number, size and everything. Okay, so great. I think the pants are actually named in this case too. Yes, they are. Sergeant F.E. Sampson, same service number. So, post-war battle dress. I get it. I understand it's post-war, so you're not all excited. I get that, totally get that. And you're probably wondering what the plot is, aren't you? You'll get it, don't worry. So again, glider pilot wings, wartime service ribbons, and again, the name, Sergeant F.E. Sampson, right? So, and the pants, if I remember correctly, were also had a labeling. Yep, sure enough, St. Levine, August 1962, Sergeant F.E. Sampson. Great, right, okay. Why is this all important? And, oh, there's a sergeant sash to go with the patrols. Why is this all important? Because he's in this book. Why is he in the book? Great. So, this gentleman joined the glider pilot regiment. Well, actually not directly, but he ended up at D-Day and at Arnhem. So, he's a British glider pilot. He's in the book. I'm not making it up. Oh, wait, his name's Sampson. I think it's page 201 off the top of my head. And there's a picture of him in this book in front of his glider. In fact, I'll show you that. If I can find the page, of course. Yep, there we are. Right there. And it lists his name in here. Of course, it's how. There we are. Sergeant Fred Sampson in the doorway of his Horsa glider. Right there. So, not only has he got about 10 pages on him, he's in the book. So that's pretty cool. And then my distant early warning systems here. Then we have a bunch of extra stuff that came with it. Car Pennant, it's post-war for the glider pilot regiment, both sides. So that's kind of neat. Not something you find every day. I know it's post-war. I'm sure this is worn part of the British Airborne Forces Association. He rode around in a Jeep with this hanging off. So, you know, that's cool. Something different. Obviously, this is... Actually, I'll show you that in a better view. It's nothing tremendous, but it's neat. I don't know who made it for him. I don't know where he got it, but it is there. Then you have this, which is bush dress. So this is just clipped on. You ripped it off when you wanted to launder your bush dress in Korea and after the war. So there you go. Glider pilot wing on bush dress. And this is all one guy's stuff. MWO rank. I'm sure that he had this put together for when he was in the British Airborne Forces Association and just had this pinned to his blazer jacket. I'm sure of that. But, you know, I have no proof, but I'm sure that's what it is. And a miniature mess dress. Post-war again. Post-war glider pilot bullion wing. So that's neat. And another little blazer crest. So red lanyard. I'm going to have to look in my book to see who used the red lanyard from which unit of the glider pilot regiment. I believe it's Wartime. I believe it's his. Well, I know it's his, but I don't know if he wore that Wartime or not. But again, what's nice is that he's in the book. So normally when stuff walks in, you have no provenance. You don't know anything about it. You can't tell you anything about it. But in this case, I can say, hey, this guy was a glider pilot at Arnhem. So there's some history to it. I paid the guy very fairly for it, truthfully, because I was trying to be straight with him. He had some more stuff, but he hasn't brought it with him, so he'll come back, I'm sure. So it's all good. So anyways, that's just some of the stuff you have when you have a retail store that walks in the door. Sometimes you can't believe stuff. Sometimes you're like, great, more post-war shoulder titles. Oh, God. Whatever. It's what happens, though. And other times, some incredible stuff walks in the door. I didn't even know the guy was coming. He just showed up. So anyways, thanks for looking. Follow me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Check out my website, militaryantiquestoronto.com. And you know what? You never know what's going to be photoed or listed or shows up here. It's mind-boggling. Thanks for looking. Take care. Bye.